hello to you guys who've come on. If you want to say hello into the chat, I'll know who's on. We're here at the Trinity College Dublin, Ireland's most celebrated university, 47-acre campus, and one of the 15 most beautiful campuses, college campuses in the world. What we're looking at here, folks, is the old library building dating back to 1727. And this library houses probably the most famous, what is considered to be the most famous medieval manuscript ever written, the most important medieval manuscript ever written, and that is the Book of Kells. So just to tell you a little bit about the Book of Kells, it was written in the year 800 by Irish monks off the coast of Iona in Scotland, off the Scottish coast on the island called Iona. And then about seven or 8 years into writing this book, the island was invaded by the Vikings, and the Vikings killed something like 64 of the monks. How you doing, Poppy? And the rest of the monks, they fled the island of Iona and made their way to Kells Abbey in County Meath, about 45 minutes drive from where I'm standing right now. And that's where they completed the book, and it took 100 years to write. And it was written on the skin of 180 vellum, which is the skin of 183 calves. As I say, it took 100 years to write. And it tells the story of the four Gospels of the Bible: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Grace, how are you? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Say hello. Anybody else is on here, folks? Say hello. Don't be shy. I've got a little problem with my voice today. I don't know what the story is with it. Now, this library right here is one of the most beautiful libraries you'll see anywhere in the world, and it's every single book published in the UK and Ireland, this library gets a free copy. And also in here is the Brian Brew harp. Hi Dan, how are you? Good to see you. I'm well, great, thanks Grace. I hope you're well yourself. Hope everyone's good in PA, Pennsylvania. And so this is a huge tourist attraction right here at Trinity College, the Book of Kells building right here, and it's the fourth biggest tourist attraction in all of Ireland, which is quite extraordinary. During the summertime, at the height of the season, you'd see lots and lots of people standing outside waiting to get into the Book of Kells building. It houses, supposedly, I think a lot of it might be, a lot of the books might be housed in warehouses and so forth. But at one time I was led to believe that there was 5 to 6 million books in here. Well, that's actually how many books the actual library has, but they wouldn't be all housed in here, because there wouldn't be enough room. They're actually closing this building down for 4 years, because what they're doing is a huge undertaking where they're going to be cleaning every single book by hand, like the covers and the insides of the books. Every single book, and also every bookshelf as well. So it's taken 4 years. So there's a new building, you might see it over there, that red building, and that's going to be the new building that will house. Hi Michelle, how are you? Greetings. And that's the new building which will house the Book of Kells for the next 4 years. But it's still continuing to be in this building for the moment. There's also an older book, believe it or not, that's housed in the Book of Kells building in the old library, and that is the Book of Durrow, which was written in the 8th century, so about 100 years before the Book of Kells, in a place called Durrow in County Offaly, the monastery by Irish monks, a monastery in Durrow, County Offaly. But it's nowhere near as spectacular as the Book of Kells, because the Book of Kells, it's known for its absolutely breathtaking illustrations and so forth. It really is a beautiful book. It's on display here, as I say, and it's been on display here since 1850 in this library, the Book of Kells. Now, what's amazing about the Book of Kells is that it was actually found in the ruins of Kells Abbey in around, it was either the 13th or 14th century. It was just lying on the ground in the ruins of the monastery at Kells Abbey. Kells, as I say, County Meath, about 45-minute drive from here. But it's in an extraordinary condition today. They actually had to break it down into, because it's a huge big book, because it was the four Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. So they actually condense it down to 4 different books: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. 4 separate books. So there you go. This is the revolving sphere you see right here. This globe. There's many versions of this throughout the world, including at the Vatican Museum, and also at the UN building in New York. But we have one right here at Trinity College as well. Now, this building that you see right here was formerly known as the Berkeley Library, just up until a couple of... Hi Sarah, how are you? Just up until a couple of months ago, probably about 6-7 months ago. It was called the Berkeley Library after a man called George Berkeley. He was born in 1685. He was from County Kilkenny here in Ireland. He died in 1753. He was a philosopher, a writer, educator, mathematician, and he attended Trinity College right here. And he went on to be, as I said before, a great educator, and he traveled through the United States as an educator. And the University of California at Berkeley is named after him, George Berkeley. And the town of Berkeley in California is also named after George Berkeley. As I say, he attended this college right here in the early 1700s. Now, as I said, it was formerly known just up to about 6 months ago, and maybe for a couple of centuries, this library was called the George Berkeley Library. But supposedly, they found out that he was a slave owner whilst in the United States. And because of that, they took the name off the library. So it's no longer called the George Berkeley Library, just the library. It's sort of like more of like a research library for the students. Now we're going to take a trip around this whole campus today, and we're going to bring it to the sports fields right now, known as College Park. There's actually 5 squares within the campus here. Now Forbes magazine, I did mention this before, they shouldn't have changed the name. We can't go back changing everything. But yeah, I agree with you. Just now, yeah, I agree with you. You can't be changing everything. Look, come here. It is what it was back then. We can't be. We cannot be responsible for the sins of our father, if you like. Every single country in the world had exploitation of their people in some kind of other. But you got to move on, you know. So this is the sports field right here. This is the soccer field. It's also where they play cricket here. The university, it's known as Dublin University, Trinity College, and the Dublin University team is a very, very good cricket team. I guess they're not too bad at football either. So the cricket club right here dates all the way back to 1835. Now, one of the greatest cricketers to ever play for this college was none other than Samuel Beckett. Samuel Beckett was a first-class bowler and a first-class batsman in cricket. And he's the only writer to ever play first-class cricket. So not only was he won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1969, known for such great classics plays as Waiting for Godot and Endgame. So an absolutely an amazing writer. But he was an amazing student here and also a great sportsman. And they say he may be the greatest cricketer to ever play for Dublin University here at Trinity College. How about that? If you look further on, you'll see the green awning in that building over there. That's the Moyne Institute, where microbiology is taught. Studies include the prevention of infectious diseases. How ironic for this period of time. It is what it is. It is so true. Thank you. Cynthia, how are you? So we've had a lot of new people on here that haven't been on my last few tours, so welcome everybody. Of course, Poppy comes on all my tours. Diane, good to see you. Grace, it's good to see you again. Michelle. Sarah comes on a lot of my tours too. Cynthia, welcome. Good to see you all, folks. This is a really spectacular building. Actually, I'll show you this building when we go around the other side, because we're going to take in this whole campus today. But now, strangely enough, I didn't even know this until just a few minutes ago. But my alma mater, my school, Turner College, is actually playing right here. Now, the soccer club here dates back to 1883. And the most successful sports team here is the fencing team, and the fencing team have won 43 titles in 66 years. Now, this is the rugby field that I'm going to show you right here, and my alma mater is actually playing against Trinity College, against Dublin University right here, and that's Turner College, the school I went to, the boys in purple and black. Now, what's ironic about this rugby club right here is that this is the oldest rugby club in the whole entire world. Now, there was an older one. Obviously, rugby was founded in England in a place called Rugby. That's why the game is called rugby. And but the original team, King's Hospital, or not King's Hospital, Guy's Hospital, the first ever rugby team in the world, is no longer in existence, which makes Trinity College the oldest in the whole entire world. My team's under pressure right here. Turn your. How's it going, boss?
At 28-0.
Is it 28-0? We're winning.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Under pressure though, just right here. I mean, 28-0 to us. Just great. I'm live streaming to a live audience.
Are you?
Yeah, across the world. Yeah.
Live stream to rugby club, it is.
What was that?
That's live. It says live stream. No, it's not.
No, it's not for. It's not for the.
Yeah, you do.
Very nice.
You missed it.
Is it scored right? This is the pavilion building over there, that cream colour building. This is where the changing rooms on the ground floor. Upstairs, you have a nice bar, and it's subsidised for students. I'm actually going in there after this. I'm meeting some friends. I just got a call from a friend of mine before I started this tour to tell me about this game being on, and that they're going back to the pavilion afterwards. So there you go. We'll move on here. Plenty of action going on here. This is an extraordinarily diverse university today. There's something like 20, it was 26%, I think it's nearly up to 30% of the student body here are from foreign countries. So one of the most diverse universities in Europe. Actually, it's the third most diverse university in Europe as regards. Now, an awful lot of Chinese here, and there's also a lot of people from India. So Asia as well represented here as regards the student body. We're going around towards the science department, physics department here of Trinity College, and you'll see right here in front of you, you will see this sculpture, and it's known as Apples and Atoms. The reason why it's called Atoms and Apples is it's in honor, the sculpture is in honor of a man called Ernest Walton, a former student here, and along with a man called John Cockcroft, an Englishman called John Cockcroft, they split the atom of lithium in 1932 and won the Nobel Prize for Physics in 1951. Now, this splitting of the atom gave birth to the atomic age, and Walton, not only was he a student here, but he was also a professor here at this college, Trinity College. And he spent most of his years here, nearly his whole life, adult life he spent here. And it's atoms and apples, obviously atoms after the splitting the atom, and then also apples because he was an avid gardener. So he would do all the gardening around here as well. And I guess he was fond of apples, so he had a lot of apple trees around here at that time as well. So 1951, he won the Nobel Prize for Physics. Ernest Walton. We've had a numerous amount of Nobel Prize winners that came to this college, including, as we mentioned earlier, Samuel Beckett won in 1969. Just watching the game here a little bit at the oldest rugby club in the world. As I said before, folks, I guess there is some beautiful trees here. You can't, obviously, there's no leaves in the trees at this time of year, but there's like over 600 trees here on the campus, including 8 species of maple, 7 species of oak. A lot of movies have also been made here at this college. Scenes of movies, I should say, including Michael Collins, a great movie starring Liam Neeson, about one of our great patriots, the man that signed The Treaty, where we got our independence in 1922. Michael Collins, great movie. Educating Rita, starring Michael Caine and Julie Waters. Come on, Danure. Anybody rugby fans here?
Get with him, Aiden!
Nice to see. And Nell, hi Nell. Cynthia, how are you? Cool statue, it really is. It's lovely. So this is more of the science department right here. Science department is actually huge here in Trinity, and it expands outside of the campus as well onto Pearse Street, named after Porter Pearse, one of Dublin's longest streets. But there's full of buildings that are affiliated with Trinity College. More student buildings, if you like. But I say the science department is huge here. A lot of scientists have come out of this college. As I say, it is Ireland's most celebrated university. And lots of action in the college today, as I say. Obviously, hey, but obviously because of the rugby game going on. And this is such a surprise because I didn't know what was going on. And it's actually my alma mater, my school, Turner College. I used to play rugby for Turner College myself back in the day. I'm an old man now, but I wouldn't be cut dead playing today. I'd get killed. Now, what I'm going to bring you next, this is only going to be a short tour today, folks, probably about a half hour or so. We're about 16, 17 minutes in.
I only have two in my house.
But I want to bring you to the most impressive part of the building. This building right here is the administrative offices that you see in front of you. And under that old part of the building. But as I said, a little later, I'm going to bring you up, probably in the next couple of minutes, I'm going to bring you to, by far and away, the most impressive part of the campus, which is Parliament Square, because as I said, it's made up of 5 squares here. Now, lots of writers also, other movies that were made here. The First Great Train Robbery, Circle of Friends, starring, what was it, Chris O'Donnell, and that British actress, she's really, really good actress, Minnie Driver. It was a great movie. It was from a book by an Irish author called Maeve Binchy, Circle of Friends. It was a great movie. Blue Max, scenes from Blue Max was made here. Now, there was a great writer. There's lots of great writers that came to the school, but there's an American writer. His name is J.P. Dunleavy, and he went to this college. J.P. Dunleavy went to Trinity College, and he wrote many of his books where the main characters were students here at the college whilst he was here, including The Ginger Man. Now, The Ginger Man was another great novel, and they actually named a bar just outside the campus here called The Ginger Man. So there's a bar called The Ginger Man just around the corner from here. This is the Samuel Beckett Theatre, obviously named after the great Samuel Beckett. And it's a very active playhouse, if you like. Players Theatre. 40 plays a year, which is quite reasonable amount. So I said this is the building that they're going to use for the Book of Kells. So this is going to be basically a temporary building. So it's going to be called the Book of Kells Experience. It's just not going to be the same, because part of the allure of going to see the Book of Kells is the old library and the long room, as it's called, because it really is spectacular. As I said, it dates back to 1727, and it really is an amazing, spectacular library. I don't know if any of you guys have ever been here to Trinity College and visited the Book of Kells at the old library and the long room. It's so impressive. This, as I say, is a beautiful building right here. And it's the museum building, and it dates back to 1853, so we'll be one of the newer buildings here, because Trinity College, I may have mentioned it earlier at the beginning of the tour, was established in 1592 by Queen Elizabeth I, the daughter of Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn, and the last of the Tudor monarchs. So 1853 wouldn't be that old for this campus. But this beautiful Venetian Gothic building with double and triple Venetian windows, if you can see right there. Really is lovely. And the museum building is also called the engineering building. But they study in here zoology, geology, geography and engineering. Very spectacular building. And inside it really is also absolutely spectacular. It was built by the O'Shea brothers from Cork. This, as I say, is the administration buildings right here. But Samuel Beckett, at one time, there would have been accommodation here for students, and Samuel Beckett actually lived in this building when he was a student. He lived here from 1926 to 1928, and then again from 1930 to 1931. There you go. Nobel laureate lived here, Samuel Beckett. How about that? Get excited. Hello. As I said before, it's unseasonably warm for this time of year. The whole week has been absolutely fabulous. Brilliant film. Which one? Just me, which one? The rugby match has made your day. Not really, because I'm not getting a chance to watch it. But we're leading anyway, 26-7 I think it is. Brilliant film. Which film was that? Just me. So if you look right in front of you here, there was a huge renovation, and I went on for at least probably 2 years to this building straight in front of me. A wonderful building. It's called the Rubik's. And the Rubik's, believe it or not, well, I'll tell you about this just a little bit because you have to see the rest of the buildings. I'm going to ask you a question in a little bit as well. But we're going to make our way, folks, around to the beautiful Parliament Square, the nicest square of the 5 squares here in College Park, in Trinity College. Hope you're having a bit of fun, folks, seeing the views. A lot of construction going on here as well. I guess there always is, because you have to maintain these buildings. They're so old. As I said before, this campus dates back to 1592. Here we're approaching, by far and away, in my opinion, the most beautiful square of the 5 squares here. And this is Parliament Square. It gets its name because it was funded by the old Irish Parliament. And the old Irish Parliament building is just through the entrance. You see the archway further up, just through the exit, if you like, of Trinity College, and then straight across the road. That's where the old Irish Parliament was, and they funded the building of these buildings. They were mostly built in the mid-1700s. But the campus itself, as I said before, dates back to 1592. It was established as a Protestant university by Queen Elizabeth I. Catholics weren't enrolled till 1783, but then the Catholic hierarchy, if you like, forbade its congregation from coming here because they didn't allow any scholarships or fellowships for Catholics. So the Catholic Church says, no, you can't come here. So it wasn't until 1970 that Catholics came here. Now, this is a Catholic country. It's quite extraordinary that it wasn't until 1970 that Catholics first came here to Trinity College. Any other questions here, folks? The chat has gone, oh, there you go. Circle of Friends by Maeve Binchy, that's right. Just me, you got it. Yeah, cool cars, yeah. There must be a wedding going on here or something, I don't know. There's always some activity going on here at the campus. Now, this campus was modelled after Oxford and Cambridge in the UK, and it's one of the 7 ancient universities of Great Britain and Ireland. And today it's very, very, as I said before, multicultural college with students from 122 different countries. 26% of the students, I think it's up to nearly 30 now, are foreign, the 3rd most foreign students in Europe of any university. Women first enrolled here in 1904. Now, I want to tell you a story about that, because I want to show you this man right here. There's security looking for me, going to throw me off the campus. So I want to show you this man right here, and his name is George Salmon. He was the provost here. 1904 to 1907. 1907 to 1908. 1908 to 1909. 1909 to 1911. 1911 to 1912. 1912 to 1913. 1913 to 1914. 1914 to 1915. 1915 to 1916. 1916 to 1917. 1917 to 1918. 1918 to 1919. 1918 to 1920. 1920 to 1921. 1920 to 1922. 1922 to 1923. 1923 to 1924. 1924 to 1925. 1925 to 1926. 1926 to 1927. 1927 to 1928. 1927 to 1929. 1927 to 1930. 1930 to 1931. 1931 to 1932. 1932 to 1933. 1933 to 1934. 1934 to 1935. 1935 to 1936. 1936 to 1937. 1937 to 1938. 1938 to 1939. 1938 to 1939. 1938 to 1940. 1940 to 1941. 1941 to 1942. 1942 to 1943. 1943 to 1944. 1944 to 1945. 1945 to 19 Now, he was a student here. Back in the day, they used to be very young coming to this college, or probably any colleges. He was only 14 years old when he came to the college way back in the day. And he studied mathematics, and also he studied theology. So when he graduated, he became a lecturer right here in mathematics and also in theology. Now, he established the Salmon theorem of algebra, which is still used in universities to this day. Now, he was also the provost here, which is the most important person on a college campus. It's like more or less the administration, the head of all administration, the person that runs the whole university. Now, in 1904, he was asked how he feels about women coming to this university. And his reply was, "Over my dead body." Because previous to this, there'd been no women ever enrolled here at Trinity College. He said in 1904, "Over my dead body would any women be enrolled into this college." Well, 3 weeks later he died, and a couple of weeks after that, the first of the women came to Trinity College. They were known as the steamboat women because of the mode of transport that they used to get here, because they were from the universities of Oxford and Cambridge in England. Why did they come to Trinity? The reason why they came to Trinity, because Trinity College awarded them degrees when they graduated, whereas Oxford and Cambridge did not recognise degrees for women, which is quite extraordinary. Now, a lot of these women went on to be women's rights activists, suffragettes, lawyers, and so forth, with the goal of enhancing women's rights. So it all started here, which is quite really cool. There's 5 squares, as I mentioned. This is the Parliament Square, there's a Library Square, New Fellows, and College Park. I brought you through them all. Now, most of these buildings were designed, as you can see, they're all pretty similar, and they all date back to the 1850s, 1860s, and they were designed by William Chambers, the architect, and he was the architect of George II. Some of the famous alumni that went here, Oscar Wilde obviously came here. He was only here for 2 years, and then he won a further scholarship to Oxford. We also had Bram Stoker, the author of Dracula. Jonathan Swift came here. Obviously, you know him from Gulliver's Travels and A Modest Proposal. Samuel Beckett, we talked about him. 3 Irish presidents came here. The very first Irish president, Douglas Hyde, also came here. And then the 2 lady presidents that we had, Mary Robinson and Mary McAleese, both were alumni of Trinity College. This is the Campanile, a really, really impressive building here. And the Campanile is a very superstitious building as well, because superstition has it that if a student was to walk underneath, it's a bell tower, the Campanile, underneath the bell tower whilst the bells are ringing and during exam times, that they would fail their exams. So if there's any students on, you're going to Trinity, make sure you don't walk underneath the Campanile while the bells are ringing during exam time. To me, the most impressive building though is the Graduates Memorial Hall. It's absolutely stunning. There's been many movies here made here, including Educating Rita, starring Michael Caine and Julie Waters. Julie Waters, I think her name is. Magnificent building. There's loads of debating societies within this. There's something like 150 different clubs within Trinity College. There's 50 sports clubs and like 100 all different ones. But there's lots of debating clubs here, and a lot of the debating societies are housed right in here. True to his word, Sarah. The Graduates Memorial Hall, that dates back to, I said the 1800s. These were built in the 1700s, the mid 1700s. We'll just walk in here for a minute. Oh. Sorry, folks. The cheek of Yeah, definitely the cheek one. Yeah. So the examination hall is the building first, straight up to, straight ahead of you, which is the exit and the entrance into Trinity College. That dates back to 1777. The Graduates Memorial Hall, as I showed you there, dates back to 1699. But it was then knocked down and rebuilt to look the exact same as the old building in 1899. It's got 4 floors in it. It's a magnificent building. The dining hall, this one here, 1764. Now, what's amazing about this building is that in 1984 it was burnt to the ground, and once again they rebuilt it to look like the exact same as the original building. This is the chapel right here, and the chapel at one time would have been just a Protestant chapel for Presbyterians, Anglicans and what have you, but today it's non-denominational because there is people of all religious persuasions here at the college, and they all can use this one church. So non-denominational church. And this is the graduates hall where all the graduation ceremonies take place, right here. The drawing room over here, and that's dedicated to, that building is also dedicated to all the alumni and also the students and the professors here that joined the British Army during the First and Second World War, and those that lost their lives during that war. That building is dedicated to them. Now, I mentioned this building, I showed it you from the back side of it, but it's called the Rubik's building, the red brick building. And ironically, what's quite amazing is it went through a big overhaul over the last couple of years. But amazingly, the other buildings look a hell of a lot older, but they're not. This is the oldest building, and it's student accommodation building, and it dates back to 1699. So this is the oldest building on the whole campus. Still exists. There is no building still that exists from its inception in 1592. As I said before, now if you weren't on earlier, Forbes magazine ranked Trinity College campus as one of the 15 most beautiful college campuses in the whole entire world, which is quite extraordinary because there's 25,000 universities across the world that have this ranked in the top 15. Wonderful, isn't it, folks? Nobody's saying anything to me. I've lost the conversation. Nobody's excited. Get excited, folks. Now, remember I mentioned to you earlier about women didn't come here till 1904, or they weren't allowed to register here at the college from 1904, only from 1904 onwards. Now, in 2021, so the provost was always a male. There was never any female provost, not until 2021. So 437 years after its inception, after it's been established, this university, they finally had a woman provost. Her name is Linda Dahl. She's the provost right now, 2021. The first female provost in over 430 years. Quite amazing. This lady's doing a tour. I went on a tour with that particular lady, that young girl there. She's a student. Just about 3 weeks ago. I was doing a tour that was organised by a different company, not my own company. And part of the tour was to bring them around the city for 2 hours and then come on a walking tour with one of the student guides here at Trinity College. And then into the Book of Kells building, that building right there, the old library. So that particular girl was doing the tour. That's her name. That's her right there. I forget what her name is. But she's very good. Very enthusiastic, really upbeat. It was what you need. So Trinity College is ranked in the top 100 universities across the world for education. And it's ranked in the top 100 in 13 different subjects. So guys, that's about all I've got to talk about today. Oh yeah, no, one other thing I need to tell you. So, some of you guys are from the US. I know We have some of you guys on here from the US. I'm going to look through all the names here again. Grace, of course, from Pennsylvania. Diana's from the US, I believe, as well. Michelle, I'm not sure where Michelle's from. Sarah's from the US, I think, as well. Or is she from the UK? Cynthia, I think it's the same Cynthia. I think she's from the US. Cap K, how are you? Good to see you. How cool a rugby game, she said earlier. Yeah, I missed some of those. Anyway, if you're from the US, you know how expensive it is to go to college in the university in the United States, and probably Canada as well. But I know the US costs between 50 and 80,000 euros a year. Sorry, dollars a year to go to college. And if it's an Ivy League school, it'll probably be even more than that. Well, you're not going to believe how much do you think it would cost to come to a college like this here in Ireland? Trinity College. How much are the fees for Irish citizens? Anybody want to guess? Anybody want to guess how much it costs to come to this college or any college in Ireland if you're an Irish citizen? UK, Sarah's from the UK. Okay, great. Just me's from Tip. Hey, from Tipperary. Great stuff. Just me, 15,000. No. Zero. Capt has it right. Just me, 15,000 would be for foreign students. For Irish citizens, it is zero. It doesn't cost one penny to come here to this college. But they make their money obviously on the foreign students, as I said before. It's something like 26 to 30% are foreign students outside the EU from Asia. And they would be paying probably up to 30,000 a year, especially if it's undergraduate course or whatever. And then, but it's free. Just me. You're from Tipperary. You didn't know that. I can't believe it. I'm only messing with you. But, it's free. Now, obviously, students will have a lot of overheads as well. They've got to buy their books and that kind of stuff as well. And if they live on campus, they'd have to pay for accommodation. But the actual education itself is free. But there's not many that live on the campus here. There's mostly the foreign students live on the campus in that Rubik's building just behind you, the red brick one. There is a place called Trinity Hall. It's about 3 miles from here, 2 miles, 2.5 miles, 3 kilometres from here, in a place called Dartry in Dublin. And it's a huge, big, massive complex called Trinity Hall for the students of Trinity College, as there is like 17,500 students that come here. Now, there would be a lot of day schoolers from local Dublin suburbs and so forth, even from the city, that will go to Trinity College. But as I say, 30% are foreign. There would have been a lot from the EU as well. And there is also a lot of Americans that come here too. Some of them come as exchange students. Foreign students have been scammed by unscrupulous scammers too. Not in these universities, in the foreign language schools. That happened, yes. That has happened in the foreign language schools here in Dublin. It was only 1 or 2, and it was very unscrupulous owners where they take the money and then close the place down. I don't know why it wasn't regulated, but not universities like this. The scammers are anywhere near these universities. These are well-respected universities, just me. If Irish, you're lucky to attend. Yeah, there were English language schools, not universities. So yeah, the fees are for EU students, 7,214 per year. For non-EU, 15,399. And it's free for Irish citizens. 3 Nobel Prize winners came here. Samuel Beckett for literature, Ernest Walton for physics, and William Campbell for medicine. I say top 100 in the world for 13 different subjects. Number 20 for literature and English studies in the world. So, beautiful university. Folks, that's about all I got for you for this tour. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks very much for coming on. And if you did enjoy the tour, I'd very much appreciate it if you could leave a little donation. I got, it should be in the description. I've got the link to buy me a coffee or PayPal, where you can leave a tip. I'd really, really appreciate it if you could do that. Also, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so. But also, if you, thank you, Sarah. yeah, if you have already subscribed, please don't hit that subscribe button, otherwise you'll unsubscribe. But if you know any of your friends or family that would like to watch some tours, I got over 170 tours right now on YouTube. So if you'd like to send them my link, ask them to watch a tour for 10, 20 minutes or whatever, or even a whole tour if you wish, and then subscribe to my channel. Don't subscribe before you watch a tour, because otherwise it won't be counted. YouTube won't allow it. So I'd really appreciate it for Christmas. That'd be my Christmas present. Thanks very much, Diane. Finally got to do this tour. Great stuff. Hope you enjoyed it, Diane. During the Hago days, I must have had more information or whatever, because it would take me an hour to do it. I guess because there would have been a lot more people on, you'd been answering a lot more questions. Yeah, usually it'd be an hour that I do these tours for. But this one's like 40, coming up to 41 minutes. Yeah, coming up this coming Wednesday, folks, right here on YouTube, I'm going to be doing Christmas on Grafton Street. I'm going to have to put into the calendar on the former Hago page, the Facebook page, or whatever. What's it called again? But anyway, I'm going to have to put it into the calendar. And but this coming Wednesday, 20th of December at 6 p.m. Irish time, so that'd be 1 p.m. your local time in the United States, East Coast, and Canada, East Coast. Same time, obviously, if you're living in the UK. So I hope you can join me for that, folks. Christmas on Grafton Street. There'll be lots of stories told. There'll be a lot of buskers on the streets. Thanks, Poppy. Appreciate it. Thank just me. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. There'll be a lot of buskers on the street. There'll be absolutely beautiful light display throughout the street with all the shops and the decorations throughout the street. We're going to visit lots of different places, and we're going to tell some stories. There's lots of stories on that tour. It'll be a lot of fun. So I hope you can join me this coming Wednesday, 20th of December, and we'll see us all then. Thanks so much for coming on, folks, and we'll see you. Have a great day. Enjoy all the rest of the tours. Thank you. Bye.